Welcome back. Your Orlando Magic take down the Detroit Pistons 112-109. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you, I had no intention with making a video tonight on this. It was a very sloppy game. It was a rough watch. It was just not pretty at all, win or lose. And then we just got rewarded with one of the purest moments of the season, really, and just a moment I think we're just all gonna look back on and remember and just be like, a really wholesome, fun game. We'll get into that a little bit later. I'm sure everyone who's watching this video probably knows what the topic is going to be about. But just before we get into that, I just want to go over some performances tonight, because while some players didn't play great, I think some players really stood out and have shown a big shine in these past couple games, and is what really brought us back into winning basketball again. We're 8-2 over our last 10. We play again tomorrow. We play a Trae Youngless Atlanta Hawks team on a second half of back-to-back, so hopefully these guys do keep their guard up and come out ready to play tomorrow. I'm a little worried about some players and how the fatigue might affect them for that game tomorrow, Paolo especially, but we'll just have to see. Obviously we can't let our guard down against any team, but hopefully the win streak will continue. I think we won now 3 in a row, so tomorrow would be for 4. And it's just all around great to see this team get back on track to where they should be. We had a little fall off, which this is all expected. We've been talking about this since the beginning of this season. When we looked at our schedule, like, we knew that December and January were going to be difficult months, and they were. We started to really pick it up in late January, but obviously just on top of the tough schedule, we were dealing with tons of injuries, and we saw post All-Star break it's going to get very light, and so far it's exactly what we've seen. Now starting off 2-0 since coming off of All-Star break, winning a good chunk of games previous to it, and we've seen this all season, and now it's just coming. And we always said, like, the schedule's going to pick up, but we can't let our guard down, because it will come back and bite us. And so far these guys have handled it okay. Obviously today was not a great performance at all, but we do come out with a win. A win is a win. Coming in tonight, we did see our first look at this, little revamped Pistons team. They picked up some very, decent pieces. They got Quentin Grimes, we got our old buddy Evan Fournier, and then Simone Fontecchio. He was lighting us up all game. Like, it was like, come on, bro, like, can we just guard the guy? He eventually did start to miss, but no, that dude was lighting us up. This isn't like a one-off. He's been really good since the Pistons picked him up. And just all around guys, like I said, Quentin Grimes, Malachi Flynn. There's a lot of new faces that we haven't seen in previous matchups, so tonight we got a lot of new things thrown at us. And on top of that, guys with his hitting shots, especially Cade, he had it going all night. Jalen Duren just loves to give us issues. And meanwhile, on the other hand, we pretty much ran it back with, the same team we've had all season. Markelle Fultz has been out of the lineup since All-Star break, dealing with some, I don't know what they'd say, knee injury management. I don't really know if that's the exact reason they're out. Maybe something with his shoulder, but that is all purely just speculation. They have him listed as injury management. But with that, Jalen Suggs has stepped into the starting point guard position, and Gary Harris has taken over the starting shooting guard position. Usually Anthony Black kind of fills in, but they've been letting him run him off the bench, and I think he's been great off the bench. I think this season alone, like, from the start of this season to now, the amount of growth that Anthony Black has made on the court in just mid-season, it's very rare to see. Usually guys like that might need an off-season to work on some things, to really lock in on shooting or different aspects. But Anthony Black, shooting, especially for him, like, it's just been night and day since beginning to see. Even his not even just more consistent or more willing to take it, like, his form is completely different. It's sped up, it's much nicer to look at, and it's actually getting to the point now where he is, these teams are treating him as like a real threat beyond the arc. And it's great to see, and it makes me believe that his ceiling is even higher than what I initially thought, because we've seen the posts about him staying after the game, taking shots every practice. He's after taking threes and working on his pull-up. Like, the work ethic is there, and it's definitely shown. So now time will really only tell how good he can become, and at this rate, it's going to be sooner than later. And then getting back into Jalen Suggs tonight, I think Jalen Suggs personally was our best player tonight. Very good game, 26 minutes, 14 points, 2 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks. Extremely efficient, only missed 1 shot tonight. And then, of course, provided us with that beautiful touchdown pass. Jalen Suggs, quarterback, right to Paolo to finish the quarter. I think it was an and one. And then finally, I'm gonna give props to Gary Harris tonight. 25 minutes, 12 points, 4 or 5 from 3. Has played great defense since being inserted into the starting lineup. Has been very smart, hitting his shots. That was most importantly, he's hitting his shots. For a player like Gary Harris, as long as he's just doing that, the rest of the game, like, it's just an extra bonus. And Like when he was in playing off the bench, it felt like he could not hit anything. He couldn't throw a ball into the ocean. And now after All-Star break, maybe, a little bit of rest, or maybe, being inserted to the starting lineup did something, but I don't care. He's knocking down shots now, really good tonight, even creating for himself, not just catch and shoot, like creating for himself off the dribble has been huge. Funny enough, looking at the box score, I know I said before I was a little worried about tomorrow and potential fatigue from some players, but after looking at the box score, I'm realizing now that nobody on this team played over 30 minutes tonight except for Franz, who played 31. So it does seem like some decision making from Mosley to kind of keep these guys keep some energy for tomorrow, knowing that every game from here on counts. These next two guys, everything I say to one, it coexists with the other. Cole Anthony and Mo Wagner have been absolutely just amazing since the All-Star break. It's only been 2 games, but in those 2 games, even though Cole started to pick it up in that game before, the game versus the Knicks before All-Star break is when he kind of snapped back into himself. He went through a very long, rough patch, but especially since after All-Star break, Cole and Mo have been like borderline unstoppable, it feels like, off the bench. Like they just, first of all, Mo can just get anywhere he wants on the floor when he wants to, I feel like. And Cole, pretty much the same way. Obviously, Cole still is a little reckless with the ball at times, but he can make tough shots when needed to, and that is a very big talent for this team, because when the offense gets very stagnant, sometimes we need a tough shot maker, and sometimes in the lineups that are being ran, there aren't really many. The Cole, Mo, Joe, Jonathan Isaac lineup, like, who's really like creating off the dribble for themselves besides Cole and Mo? Now, I will give credit to Joe Ingles though, because if you do pay attention, like when that full bench unit is on the floor, he is pretty much the primary point guard. Like he's the one taking the ball up the court every time. He's the one kind of orchestrating the players, getting them in their sets, starting the play. And of course, Jonathan Isaac, just another dominant game for him. Hopefully we do see him on the second night of a back-to-back tomorrow. I think we should. I think we're safe on that. Until now, he did have a little fall that he was on the ground for a little bit longer than I would have liked. He didn't really seem like he got up like grimacing, but I don't know if he was just tired or took a hard hit. And one thing I will say I did see about Jonathan Isaac tonight, I don't know if I haven't been paying attention, maybe I need to more, but I was kind of like player watching him a little bit, and it seemed like tonight, like he was really eager to get the ball and be aggressive and score. And I'll give credit where credit's due. 12 points from him tonight, only missed 2 shots, 2 of 2 from 3, which is huge. And now sometimes when J.I. wants to get into his scoring bag a little bit, I admit I do get a little bit nervous. But tonight he seemed confident, and it made me feel confident, and it paid off. And hopefully he continues to look for his shots a little bit more, because listen, he's gigantic out there. Like you can, like when he's on the floor, it's so noticeable. Like if he really wanted to work on being like aggressive, I really think it would be a huge plus to this team, and he would be like Giannis type unstoppable if he obviously has to work his way up to that. And obviously I'm not crazy, not Giannis exactly, I'm more talking about like the compares, like their builds are very similar, their length, their build, like that's what I'm more talking about when I say that. Now let's get into the stars of the team, Franz and Paolo. It was not great games for either of these guys tonight, which is rare. Usually when one's down, one picks it up a little bit, but tonight it was off for both. And they were even off a little bit last game, but not to the extent of tonight. Like tonight, it was glaringly obvious like these guys were not playing well. I even said that this is probably Paolo's worst game of the season, right at the point where he missed those 2 free throws. And I don't mean that in any negative way. Like players have off nights, like it's not insane to say, and his was tonight. And obviously he's been dealing with the sickness that we saw him questionable going into the previous game. And I'm not making excuses for him, but like he had no All-Star break. Like every team in the league, like how many players are All-Stars, or how many players went to All-Star weekend? Like 5-10% of NBA players for All-Star weekend. And on top of him going, he then competed in every single event in every single night. And then All-Star weekend was over on Sunday, and Magic practice on Monday, and he's out in practice. So like he really had no actual break. You heard Franz and Mo went on vacation. Anthony Black went, I believe, to like California and went on vacation. All these guys around the league were getting rest, and Paolo had absolutely zero, and then he got sick on top of that. I'm not making excuses. The game was still, if we would have lost tonight, I would have said like this was a bad game from him. And pretty much it's okay. It's okay to have an off night. It's okay to have a bad stretch of game. And on top of everything that he's going on around him when with him, it's not insane to for it to come in this time. And for the first time this year, at the end of the stretch, like Franz missed that free throw, and then you have Paolo go to the line and pretty much seal the game, and he misses both. And that was the first time this year. It's like, dang, like he really didn't come through for us right there. So we thought, obviously, we have the I Feel Like Paolo shirt on because that man felt like a superstar today. He can miss all the shots in the world. When it comes down to it, that man is clutch. That man wants to win. He knows what it takes. He has what it takes. And he showed us today that, you know, through thick and thin, like, when it comes time to, like, he will give it his all. And, you know, it might not always pay off, but today it did. And he has now, what, 3 game winners this season? And this is by far the best game winner of his career. I mean, if you have not seen it, I don't know how you haven't seen it watching this video. If you have not seen it, this shot is just absolutely ridiculous. One of the best buzzer beaters I've seen in a while in the league, not even by like a Magic player. Did he travel? Debate with a wall. The refs called it good. Game 1. And he did knock down that free throw because it wasn't and one, by the way. He did knock down that free throw, so he even redeemed himself there. But to me, the shot wasn't even the best part of this whole game. The post-game interview, if you know, you know. That post-game interview, it had me choked up. Like, seeing your star player do something like that and then get on the mic and just be that emotional. Like, he couldn't even bring himself to words. He said in the post-game interview, he said that, you know, he hasn't been feeling good. And he was just grateful for his teammates stepping up, which they did, because not counting him, we had 7 players tonight come in double digits. I don't know, man, that post-game interview to me, like, it just told me so much about him that we already knew, but like, it just solidified it even more. Like, you can tell that performance tonight, like, his performance tonight really, like, hurt him. Like, he did not like that at all. It killed him, and being able to redeem himself with that shot, just it literally meant the world to him. You could see it, and I doubt Paolo will ever see this, but if you do, if somehow you are listening, like, we just know, like, we are blessed to have a winning player like you in Orlando, and someone who cares that much, and we are grateful to have someone who just cares that much and is willing to bring it every night, whether it's the Detroit Pistons or the Denver Nuggets. Like, you are giving it your 100% all. And yeah, it's great to have, you know, that type of player in your organization and him be your star. But yeah, that is about all for me today. What an interesting game day, and guess what? We get to do it all over again tomorrow. And for once, I'm excited about a back-to-back. I'm excited to watch this team play again tomorrow. I'm excited to see how they carry this momentum going now, and, you know, keep the win streak going. This is about to be 4 in a row. We are the 60. We are back in the playoffs again. Like, we don't want to be a play-in team. We want to be in the playoffs. And it's just a great time right now because, you know, we want to make this push. The schedule's lining up for it to happen perfectly, and we're taking care of business when we need to. And, like, we're controlling our own destiny right now. Like, we don't have to worry about, you know, other teams we know have to lose. But right now, our main task is just winning our games, and we will be able to take care of what we need to. And it's just crazy to see and say as a fan, you know, even before going to this season, if you would have told me, like, it's the end of February and we are 4 games back of the 2 seed in the East, who would believe you? But yeah, that is enough from me. Let's keep it going. Let's continue, you know, play the song every day, all day, every day. That meme has picked up way bigger than I would have ever thought, and I mean, we'll take it. It's publicity. But yeah, if you guys did enjoy the video, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. The videos are going to pick up, and listen, it's almost playoff time, and we're gonna go crazy. So feel free to join along from the ride and subscribe. And yeah, on that note, guys, I'll catch you guys on the next one, and I'm out. Peace.